Konnichiwa, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to talk about humour in sales in Japan. Eigo desu. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. This is the 8th year of the Sales Japan series podcast, broadcasting around the world from the Beverly Hills of Japan, Minatoku, here in downtown Tokyo. It is chic central. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, or in Japanese, Anatomo Present no Tachizen. Plus, Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Mudni Suru wa Yamimashou. And all are available on Amazon. In this podcast, I want to help you to survive and even better, thrive in business. I want you to 1, sell more and do it more easily. 2, exceed your target. In fact, let's blow up your targets. Number 3, make some serious money. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We're not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series. And every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show podcast. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 384. Today we are talking about sardonic humour, sarcasm, and irony when selling in Japan. Aussies are a casual people. They prefer informality and being chilled to stiff interactions in business or otherwise. They can't handle silence and always feel the need to inject something to break the tension. Imagine the cultural divide when they are trying to sell to Japanese buyers. Japan is a country which loves formality, ceremony, uniform, silence, and seriousness. Two worlds collide in commerce when these buyers and sellers meet. My job, when I worked for Austrade in Japan, was to connect Aussie sellers with Japanese buyers. I would find the buyers and then try to find the Aussie suppliers. I noticed some distinct cultural differences in the sales process. It was always better when the Japanese buyers didn't speak English. This stripped out the ability of the Aussies to directly communicate with the Japanese buyers. You would think that was a disadvantage, but in fact, it was the saviour in a lot of cases. Unable to access their own language and direct communication with the Japanese buyer, they were forced to give up some mainstream linguistic idiosyncrasies of Aussie interactions. Formality is a given in business in Japan, and when, as the seller, you are forced to communicate through an interpreter, you are reduced to a staccato flow of thoughts and ideas. There is a delay in the communication, and the Aussies had to sit there and wait to hear what the buyer said. They were forced into a more formal style of interaction which prevented them from freestyling. This was good because the Japanese buyers prefer the more formal approach. When the buyers could speak some English, the Aussies ran riot. They were freed from the chains of formality and immediately lapsed into casual interactions with which they felt more comfortable. Humour is a big part of the Aussie male culture, and they bring it with them wherever they go, including to the very much stiffer, buttoned-up Japanese business world. The problem is you have to be another Aussie to get in sync with the humour. Self-depreciation is part of Japanese culture too, and here it is more about being humble rather than putting yourself down. Aussies are also pretty humble people, and self-depreciation is a male signal to other males that you're not trying to get above everyone else and that we're all equal. This reaction against the English class system in Australia has made fairness and equality basic building blocks of the culture down under. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public courses, and we also have custom in-house programs as well as both in Japanese and English. We do classes in our super safe classroom and we do them live online. Our show today is being brought to you by, on the 5th of June, our Dale Carnegie course, that's a 12-week version. On the 6th of June, we're starting our 3-day version of the Leadership Training for Managers program. And on the 6th and 7th, we're doing our High Impact Presentations course. Go to our website at japan-dalecarnegie.co.jp. That's Japan, Japan, hyphen, Dale, D-A-L-E, Carnegie, C-A-R-N-E-G-I-E.co.jp. Get my best-selling books. Japan Sales Mastery, which in Japanese is Zaegyo. This is the Bible for selling in Japan. Japan Business Mastery, Japan Presentations Mastery, which is Anatomo Present no Tatsujin in translation. Plus, Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Mudni Sunu wa Yamimashou. And all available from Amazon. If you like learning by watching videos, we have over 2,300 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, the premier business show in Japan, every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show. And on Saturdays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. That's Greg, G-R-E-G, .story, S-T-O-R-Y, @dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. The problem is, self-depreciation is very hard to translate. When we speak foreign languages, we are constantly translating what is being said in the other language into our own. Japanese buyers always had trouble trying to get the point of the self-depreciative attempts at humour by the Aussies. When it bombed, did the Aussies regroup and go in a different direction? No. They just doubled down harder to try to make the point, which meant they just kept digging a deeper hole for themselves. Hint to the wise. When selling in Japan, be humble, but don't make self-depreciative remarks about yourself. It won't land the way you want it to land. Sardonic humour is a close cousin to these self-depreciative remarks. We Aussies got this from the English because they love sardonic humour too. Again, it is very hard to translate and for Japanese to understand. Japanese communication is rather circular and vague. Sardonic humour is angular. You make comments at an angle to what has been said and hit hard on that angle to mark a dark point, which is witty. Japanese buyers are fabulous at never making a direct point if they can avoid it, so no angles to leverage off. I notice this with my Japanese wife when I say something sardonic. And it just goes absolutely nowhere. They don't have that angle in their own language, so it is a hard one to grasp in a foreign language. Hint number 2. Forget attempting sardonic humour because only you will get the joke. Sarcasm is a close relative to the sardonic humour category. Aussie male culture means growing up under a constant barrage of sarcastic remarks and one-upmanship. You have to learn how to be tough and take it and how to hand it out to defend yourself. The speed of the riposte and the lacerative edge to the comment are being judged as a sign of wit and intelligence. No one gets sarcasm in Japan, in my experience. Trust me, I've tried it many times, only to see it fall as flat as a pancake. Hint number 3. Remove all efforts at sarcasm with Japanese buyers. They simply have no idea what you are talking about. Irony is another Aussie favourite in the humour stakes. Like sarcasm, we males grow up navigating our way through ocean waves of irony smashing into us all the time. requires a very high level of understanding of the language and the cultural context. Most Japanese buyers just don't have strong enough English to even get close to understanding the point of the ironic comment. There's also an edge, a sharp blade attached to the irony too, which is usually used to wound others in Aussie male culture. Japan is about harmony and getting on together. So there is no need for irony in their culture, so it is a totally alien concept. It sounds like a mean comment to a Japanese person and doesn't create a good impression. Aussie males may salute the cleverness of the biting, ironic comment and brush it off as a flesh wound when on the receiving end because they have grown up with this verbal street fighting. However, for Japanese, it doesn't come across well. Hit number 4. No ironic comments to the Japanese buyer because you will look like a mean, nasty person. If you want to be humorous, become a professional comedian. If you want to sell something to Japanese buyers, be charming, nice, cooperative, considerate, and honest. You will do much better that way. Thank you for joining the Sales Japan series. If you found the program useful, then please work on your karma and share this with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you've learned. Go out there and survive. Use it and make some serious money. Bucks, dough, ruler, coin, dosh, lolly, readies, smackers, earners, and bread and honey. Remember, I'm in your corner, your go-to guy for soft skills training in Tokyo, committed to your success here in Nippon.